Today, I'm going to teach you a new software to reframe 360 video for social media like Instagram or TikTok, and a new way on how a VR professional like me edit and color 360 video for immersive distribution on YouTube VR or Oculus TV. The best part is, not like Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, this software is free for anyone who is learning VR video editing or who only publish on social media or for personal use. Lots of my viewers are asking for a free but good solution for 360 or VR 180 editing, and I can finally be the center to deliver this workflow to you. Happy holiday everyone, and smash that like button and let's learn a new skill for the new year. Happy holiday everybody, it is your boy Hugh here, back from another 360 editing tutorial. My DaVinci Resolve series is great, but it is not free if you are editing 4K and above 360 videos or you want the highest resolution output. Resolve free version limit your input video resolution to 4K. It means your 5.7K Insta360 ONE X2 or GoPro MAX footage is going to be scaled down to 4K. That is why your output is not as good as direct output from Premiere. You can spend $200 to get the studio version, or you can learn a new software I'm gonna teach you today. SGO Mistika Boutique, the Educational Edition. Mistika Boutique is the same software big studios like Warner Brothers and Disney use for Hollywood budget movies. Movies like the Marvel Avenger Endgame, Black Widows, Captain Marvel are all finished in Mistika software. Mistika knows not everyone works for a big studio with a Hollywood budget, especially for immersive content creators like me and you. So decide to make an educational edition that is completely free for anyone who wants to learn the Hollywood level professional coloring and finishing workflow. If you are making money, you should really pay Mistika, as it is amazing software for immersive and 3D post-production. You will save time by using it, and in the movie industry, time is money. But if you are just a film student or social media creator who don't need to master your delivery in Netflix standard, meaning ProRes or EXR sequence, then you can use the Educational Edition completely free with no restriction in even 8K 3D. Don't thank me, go thank the team behind Mistika. Okay, enough background information. Go ahead and download the free Educational Edition of the Mistika Boutiques and follow along. Mistika Boutique is optimized for both PC and Mac OS, so it does not matter what system you use. Edit Insta360 ONE X2 footage. We will use the Insta360 ONE X2 footage as an example. If you don't have it, feel free to download the footage and follow along. You may ask, why even bother to use any editing software to reframe and edit 360 video if Insta360 Studio can do everything? Well, the short answer is no, it cannot do everything. And no successful creator only use Insta360 Studio for their viral reframe video. You will quickly see why. Just follow along. For Insta360 ONE X2 footage, we will recommend stitch it inside Insta360 Studio into ProRes.mov. But if you are short on storage, you can render it in H.265, but at least max out the bitrate to 200 megabits per second, so you have the best quality. Now you can close Insta360 Studio and open up Mistika Boutique, the standard immersive workflow. Before opening Mistika Boutique, open the Mistika Config tool. Under General, choose a VR immersive preset. I will choose the factory preset VR 3840 by 1920. It does not matter what you choose in editing, as Mistika is in resolution independent software. So if you are editing on a laptop like what I do right here, I would choose the lower resolution preset. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I would highly recommend this Mistika Boutique tutorial I have here. Load the preset and click OK. Now open Boutique. Click Project, New Project to create a new project. Give it a name, and now it asks you to import some video. We will close it for now. Go ahead and drop in the Insta360 Studio render into the timeline. I create a new folder called footage and link it inside as a progressive sequence. I already made a tutorial on how to edit inside Mistika Boutique. Check it out right here. Or you can watch Mistika official tutorial on their YouTube channel. The professional version and the education edition are completely the same. Here, I click this icon to expand the preview window to see what I want to edit. Hold down right mouse button, you can scrub through the timeline and find your cut point exactly. Right here before straight fly is where I want to start. I hold down the middle mouse button and make a gesture to go down. It will cut at the playhead. I just select the first part and hit delete as we don't need it. By the way, if you really want to see what is going on and play the entire clip, you can double click and go inside. Mistika Boutique usually work in dual monitors, but for screen recording for this video, I set it to only one. As you see, the footage is beautiful. Sunset and the water dam. We fly this with DJI Inspire 2. If you need professional 360 VR aerial footage, considering hiring us. We go back and trim the end like so as well. Now, let me show you how easy to reframe 360 video for your social media inside Mistika Boutique. Click Effects right here, click VR View. You see the VR View effect filter is on top of the footage. You can click right here to minimize the view now as we're done with the editing. Double click inside the VR View effects, you already see a flat view like a 2D camera. Just like the GoPro FX Reframe plugin inside Adobe Premiere, but faster, fully GPU accelerated, and more powerful. Very important, first thing to do is to pick the footage within the VR View effects and make sure the result size is input instead of project. Project take the project size, which is 3840 by 1920, 4K. This is actually what the free version of DaVinci Resolve does. Your raw footage is 5760 by 2880, 5.7K, and you want every single pixel in your final reframe video for max resolution and max quality. So you pick input side instead. Now go back to the VR view. You can look around without fisheye distortion in the panel mode by changing and animating the yard, the pitch, and the roll. But for reframing, we are interested in the same result as the Insta360 Studio. So we pick Tiny Planet Projection right here. Reduce the focus length, you get yourself a beautiful tiny planet. It is that easy. But then we notice a problem immediately. We see the power of the drone. Also, the color look awful. Insta360 always look too cool and too blue on auto white balance in a sunset shot. We need to fix all that to get a professional reframe result. As you know, there is no way to remove drone and fixing the color in the free version of the Insta360 Studio. But in the free Mistika Boutique, this is part of the standard 360 workflow you need to do. Let me show you now. We move unwanted object in 360. Go back and delete the VR view effects. Instead, we are adding VR stitch effects, the same effect as in Mistika VR. Mistika Boutique includes the full version of Mistika VR. So if you're in a pinch and you need to stitch something without paying Mistika VR, you can totally do that in Mistika Boutique. Another tip to save you some money. Double click and go inside VR stitch. We are practically importing a stitch eco rack footage from the Insta360 Studio. So in input camera 1, mapping, we should choose lat long. Now, if you hit the VR icon button, you can look around just like inside Adobe Premiere. You can even turn it on into 3D if your footage is 3D 360 shot on the Insta360 Titan. One more button that is better than Premiere and DaVinci Resolve is the View in VR headset button right here. You can view your edit in VR with Oculus Quest 2 without a cable connected to your PC. Mistika is the only solution that provides untethered VR preview during editing. As long as your Quest 2 is connected to the same local network as your editing machine right here, you can turn on this button, write down the URL, go inside the free DeoVR app inside your Quest 2, input that URL, and make sure you pick HTTP instead of HTTPS. Boom! You get a live view of your edit. This is great for color grading and editing in VR. And the best of all, these are all free. After looking inside the VR headset of this edit, we noticed the Insta360 ONE X2 horizon stabilization is not doing a perfect job. The horizon line is not straight. Let's turn off jaw feather and jaw overlay. Instead, we are turning on jaw grip. With the horizon grip help, we can hold down all control to level the horizon line like so. When the horizon line is straight, we can add Mistika VR stabilization by clicking the stabilize button right here. No matter how much GoPro or Insta360 advertise their amazing stabilization feature, you always need to do extra work to stabilize it and get a perfect result. Now, we are going to paint out the drone, a very important concept. In Mistika Boutique, you always want to paint out objects in their native original resolution. So step 1 is to actually save and close the boutique, open back up the Mistika Config tool again, create a preset with 5760 by 2880 resolution, as that is the raw ONE X2 footage dimension. Open Mistika Boutiques back up again and open the project. Now, turn on No Grab View by clicking this button. This part is very similar to my DaVinci Resolve Fusion Object Removal tutorial. Go to Effects and add a VR view on top. Double click inside the VR view, push up to see the drone. Zoom out with focal length, go back to No Graph, now go to Effects and add a vector paint. Hold down Alt and copy the VR view effects like so. Copy the connection by holding down Alt again like so. Lastly, connect the vector paint node to the VR view node. You don't need to understand what I'm doing right here, just copy it exactly. Double click inside the second VR view node. Under direction, choose reverse previous VR view camera. Okay, nothing is changed, but that is great. Now we can use the vector paint to paint out the drone dynamically. Go back and double click on the vector paint node. Click show paint interface. Brush, you choose Chrome Force and then increase the brush size or click a clean part of the sky as the chrome source, then just paint out the drone like so. You can clone or you can paint in a solid color as that is a blue sky and mix them all in all together using different opacity. You can spend as much time as you want to make it look realistic. Then when you are done, make sure you click all frames and all shapes. Go back and take a look. Let me go back again and just do some editing of the vector paint again and try to soften up the patch by painting in more color and very low alpha opacity. Now, if you go back, you see it look pretty good. Vector paint is a very powerful tool, and you will see how I use it to remove a tripod with a lighting change environment, as you see right here, the campfire shot right here. And this shot is actually stereoscopic. Here is the no graph of this removal. As you see, it is a lot more complicated than what the official Mistika tutorial showed you. If you want to learn the professional stereoscopic removal workflow, check out our 360 VR filmmaking masterclass right here. Besides vector paint, we have a lot simpler way to remove the drone, just like how we do it in Adobe Premiere. We just cover it with a sky plane created in Photoshop or Affinity Photo. You just import the sky plane, put a Comp3D node on top, and make sure that the source 360 footage is node number 1 and the sky plane is node number 2. Then reconnect all the other nodes. Now you see the drone is gone. For most of the 360 drone video, a still plane is good enough. Vector paint is a little overkill, but I want to show you anyway so you can learn. If you play back now, depending on your machine, it is really slow. I would recommend rendering out a path at this point to speed up the reframe and 360 editing workflow. Before that, let's color it. Something you cannot do in Premiere or Insta360 Studio. Mistika Boutique has as powerful coloring feature as DaVinci Resolve. Let's leverage it. Go to Effects and add a color grade node. Double click into color. Now just lift the gamma to bring back the midtone and reduce the shadow and increase the highlight slightly to increase contrast. But we selectively protect the highlight by using a soft clip, so no information is blown out or lost. We then go into bands and further adjust it by increasing the midtone and reducing the highlight. Now add one more vector layer and we lock the offset and push the color to a more warm look to match the sunset. I think it looked pretty good by now. Let's add one more vector layer and we are going to bring back the blue sky. We increase the blue and reduce the purple. We also reduce the yellow a little bit to increase the red. Then we bring up the saturation of blue and cyan, and then we bring down the brightness of blue and cyan. Look at the before and after. It is a huge difference. The color toolset is really powerful in Mistika Boutique. It is something that takes time to master if you come from DaVinci Resolve though. Okay, it is not a color grading tutorial, but if you are interested to learn how I color 360 VR footage, definitely check out my 360 VR Filmmaker Masterclass right here. I also noticed a huge purple fringe lens flare caused by ONE X2 Chromatic Aberration. There is a no issue on the ONE X2 against sunlight. We just bring down the purple saturation and brightness to remove all that purple flare. Okay, now we are at a good point to render this out. You don't have to, but in order to increase editing speed, especially even on a laptop, I would highly recommend it. Click the bottom to highlight this clip. Go to Output, select QuickTime, and use ProRes LT. So in the Educational Edition, the only downside is you don't have ProRes 422 or HQ, but I think ProRes LT is good enough. If you want the absolute best quality without any quality loss, then you will have to pay Mistika. Hit foreground and render it out. Mistika is fully GPU accelerated render, so its render speed is a lot faster than Premiere. Also, ProRes LT is a lot easier format to work with than H.265, which is what you get from the Insta360 Studio if you don't use ProRes 422. If your plan is to render out as a 260 video for YouTube VR, pick MP4 NVIDIA Movie and use H.264 for 20 bitrate. Click the gear icon here to choose your bitrate. In general, for the 5.7K monoscopic video, 85,000 to 100,000 kbps should be good enough. Make sure to turn on audio as well if you have put in music and you want to keep the camera audio. For Oculus TV, you can deliver in H.265 and it is recommended for Oculus Quest 2. That is HEVC for 28-bit bitrate right here. All 260 video render, you need to inject meta for the respective platform. For YouTube VR, you need to use the free tool from Google called Spatial Meta Injector. For Oculus TV, you need to use the FB360 encoder, which you can download it from here in the Facebook Spatial Workstation. Please refer to this in-depth tutorial on how to release your 260 video using Meta Media Studio on Oculus TV. Congrats! You just did the 260 video editing. That is the hard part. What you are rendering out is a fully finished 260 video clip with nicer color, no drone, and great stabilization and better horizon leveling than what you can get from the Insta360 Studio. You can now bring it all back in clip by clip and edit it into a 260 film using the same technique I just showed you. Edit using Oculus Quest 2 right here. Now, I will show you the easy part. Reframe it for social media. Go ahead and choose Mistika, open Mistika Config 2 again, and create a new preset called TikTok. Make the master format to 1080 by 1920 vertical format. OK, and open Mistika Boutique. Select all the source edit and hit keyboard shortcut H to hide them. And we don't need them anymore unless we want to restitch or recoloring. Here is the render progress LT. We drop in the VR view effect. Think VR view as your Reframe plugin. Double click inside. Again, go to the source clip right here and make sure the result side is input, not project. Go to the VR view effect. Change the mapping to tiny planet. Now, let's animate this. Turn on auto key right here and we go in the beginning of the frame of the timeline. Set your yard, pitch, and roll, and focal length. Turn on proximal here if full resolution is too slow for you. Then hit play. Continue to change all 4 of these values to create your animation. All the keyframes are already with smooth transition, but if you find any point the animation is strange, like right here, you can open up the keyframe grab by clicking this button. Click Zoom RST to see all the animation. The problem is right here, so click this keyframe and use smooth tangent points. Draw the tangent point like so to create a different style of the velocity curve. Play again, now you slow down, overshoot, and speed up again. More like real life motion. When you are happy with your reframe animation, go back, hit save right here to make sure you save everything you do. Select the session you want to render. Now go to output render. We are posting this on Instagram Reel or TikTok, so you don't need a high quality render. Pick MP4 NVIDIA movie, pick H.264 420 bitrate. Not that 420, my stoner friends. Click the gear icon right here and you can change the bitrate right here. I generally keep around 30,000 kbps, still very high quality render for social media posting, but give me a better image quality. Click the gear icon next to the video, change the path to user defined and pick the location you want to save the file. Pick OK. If you have audio, turn on audio as well. Change the render name and hit foreground to render. After rendering the clip, we import back on the timeline. Check it out. It's really good and really high quality. Here is the final render clip. Right click and see it in media info. The clip is H.264 in around 30 megabits per second, which is a really high quality clip. This is rendered out with the complete free Mistika Boutique Educational Edition, which is mind-blowing. Consider how much you need to pay Premiere per year to do the exact same thing. I just showed you the tip of the iceberg of Mistika Boutique. If you are doing professional immersive video editing in 8K 3D with footage from Insta360 Pro 2, Insta360 Titan, or Candle Obsidian Pro, then you should really consider checking out my 360 VR filmmaking masterclass. I will show you a more complicated workflow here to remove objects using the advanced no graph system, the same idea as Nuke without paying thousands of dollars. We will deep dive into 360 3D video color grading. I will show you a pipeline I built to separate skin tone and talent inside 360 video, track it and fix their skin color and make your talent pop. As a 10 years Adobe Premiere user and editor, I won't switch my story editing to Mistika Boutique. Just yet at least. So in my masterclass, I will also show you a workflow to edit inside Adobe Premiere and finish inside Mistika Boutique. The two software are tightly integrated. This portion of the masterclass will be released soon, so stay tuned. Check the link right here. I have a couple more Mistika Boutique tutorials coming on the YouTube channel. The next one, I will teach you how to edit VR 180 video. Mistika is famous for its 3D editing ability. That is why all the Disney Marvel 3D movies are finished inside Mistika system. We will leverage the same engine to deal with some 3D challenge in VR 180. All these are coming up, so don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. Click the notification bell to stay up to date on all things 360 VR or VR 180 filmmaking. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I wouldn't be here without your sub, your likes, and your comment, and your engagement with the community. I wish you and your family happy holidays, and I will see you soon. Oh, don't forget to check out our latest VR music video released on Oculus TV under our new channel called Metaverse Stage. Let us know what you think. Ciao!